In 1996, a struggling actor was sleeping in his car. He had just $7 to his name and no plan B. He was rejected over and over again by casting directors, told his looks were too strange, his voice too unusual. That actor? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Fast forward to today, he's a billion-dollar brand, starring in blockbuster films, running his own businesses, and making more money in a day than most people do in a lifetime. But here's the thing. The Rock never got rich by accident. He followed a completely different set of money rules, rules that most people never hear about. So what did he do differently? And more importantly, what can you learn from him? Stick around, because these are the 20 hidden money rules billionaires follow, but never teach the public. Dwayne Johnson's story isn't just about talent, it's about strategy. While most people focus on earning money, he focused on controlling, multiplying, and leveraging wealth. That's the difference between being rich and staying rich. Now, let me ask you, how many people do you know who work hard but never seem to get ahead? Maybe that's even been your experience. You hustle, you save, you invest, but you feel like you're still playing the money game on hard mode. If that sounds familiar, then this video is for you. So, before we dive in, do this right now. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we're unlocking money rules that could change your financial future forever. Let's kick things off with the first billionaire rule. Losing money can be a winning strategy, if you play it right. Have you ever noticed how billion-dollar companies lose money on purpose? Amazon, Tesla, Uber, they all bled cash for years. But were they failing? No. They were positioning themselves for market domination. As Warren Buffett famously said, the stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. Billionaires understand that strategic losses are short-term sacrifices for long-term wealth. They invest aggressively, scale relentlessly, and delay profits until they've built an empire. Now let me ask you, would you be willing to take a temporary loss if it meant future financial freedom? Most people wouldn't, and that's why they stay broke. How can you apply this? Instead of fearing losses, use them strategically. Invest in assets, skills, and businesses, even if they don't pay off immediately. And speaking of strategy, Rule 5 will change how you think about debt forever. All right, let's move on to the next hidden rule. The rich never use their own money. Let me hit you with a hard truth. Billionaires do not build wealth using their own money. Ever. Elon Musk, he scaled Tesla using billions from investors while keeping his own risk low. Jeff Bezos, he expanded Amazon using public stock offerings. The rich borrow, raise capital, and leverage other people's money, OPM, to grow wealth without spending their own cash. Let's be real. How often do you use debt to buy liabilities instead of assets? Credit cards, car loans, student loans. But have you ever leveraged debt to make money? How can you apply this? Next time you need capital, don't think, how can I afford this? Think, who else can help fund this? Look at business loans, partnerships, or investor backing. And speaking of leverage, Rule 6 explains why billionaires prioritize power over money. Now let's move on to the next rule. Billionaires think about money like a video game. To billionaires, money isn't just cash, it's a game. They don't stress over every dollar spent. They focus on multiplying money, controlling resources, and leveling up. Most people treat money with fear. The wealthy treat it like a chessboard. That's why they take calculated risks, invest aggressively, and never emotionally attach themselves to money. Now, let's make it personal. Are you playing defense with your money, or are you making strategic moves? How can you apply this? Stop clutching onto money. Start using it to advance your position. Invest, build, and think long-term. And speaking of long-term, Rule 10 reveals why being boring with money is actually a secret weapon. Moving forward, let's talk about the next rule. Wealthy people stay unpredictable. Most people build one career, one income stream, one expertise. Billionaires, they're unpredictable. One minute they're in movies. The next, they're buying sports teams, investing in space travel, and launching tequila brands. As Bruce Lee said, be like water. The rich adapt, pivot, and expand their influence instead of being locked into one way of making money. Now let me ask you, how flexible is your financial strategy? How can you apply this? Don't be afraid to evolve. Learn new skills, build multiple streams of income, and stay adaptable. Rule 5. Rich love good debt. Remember our earlier conversation about this game-changing strategy? Well, Rule 5 isn't just advice. It's a revolution in how you approach debt. Most people think debt bad, but billionaires, they love it. They borrow cheap money to buy income-producing assets. Meanwhile, most people drown in bad debt, car loans, credit cards, and student loans with no ROI. You tell me, which debt makes more sense? Buying liabilities or acquiring wealth-generating assets? How can you apply this? Use debt as a tool, not a trap. Next time you borrow, ask yourself, is this debt making me richer or poorer? And speaking of smart money moves, Rule 12 will show you how billionaires turn money into an automatic wealth machine. We're just getting started. But let me ask, are these billionaire money rules surprising you so far? If so, comment more below so I know you're ready for the rest. Let's jump into Rule 6. The rich know power trumps money. As I hinted at before, billionaires have mastered a crucial truth. It's power, not money, that shapes empires and secures legacies. Let's play a quick game. Would you rather have $10 million in the bank or unlimited influence over decision-makers? Most people would pick the cash. Billionaires, they choose power every time. Why? Because money follows power, not the other way around. The wealthiest people in the world don't just chase paychecks. They buy influence, control industries, and shape global trends. Think about it. Who really runs the world? The richest people? Or the people who control the flow of money, laws, and technology? Billionaires invest in politics, media, and networking circles to ensure they always have a seat at the table. This is why you see tech giants testifying before Congress instead of being controlled by it. They're not just wealthy, they're untouchable. How can you apply this? Stop focusing only on money. Start building leverage, connections, and strategic influence. Instead of just increasing your income, ask yourself, how can I gain control over assets, opportunities, or industries? All right, let's dive into a topic that's often overlooked, yet incredibly powerful. The rich monetize attention. Pause for a second. Why do you think celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Mr. Beast, and even The Rock keep making more money even when they're not working? Because attention is the new currency. Billionaires understand that money flows to where attention goes. They don't just create businesses, they create audiences. That's why Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post and why Elon Musk bought Twitter, XX. They control narratives, news cycles, and audience engagement. Think about it. Would you rather be rich or have the ability to print money on demand? Because that's what happens when you control attention. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how normal people get rich overnight? Influencers, entrepreneurs, digital creators, one viral moment, and suddenly they're wealthier than doctors and lawyers who've studied for decades. The lesson? If you can control attention, you can control cash flow. How can you apply this? Stop being a passive consumer. Start building an audience. Whether it's a YouTube channel, a brand, or an expertise, find a way to own a platform where people listen to you. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, Comment the word more so I know. Moving forward, let's dive into the next billionaire rule. They invest in experiences, not just assets. Most people think the rich spend money on luxury cars, mansions, and designer clothes. And while some do, the smartest billionaires prioritize experiences over possessions. Why? Because experiences open doors that money alone can't buy. Think about this. Would you rather spend $10,000 on a new Rolex or a private dinner with someone who can 10x your net worth? Billionaires pay to be in the right rooms. They spend on, first, exclusive mastermind groups with high net worth individuals. Next, business retreats and networking events where deals happen. Finally, mentorship with industry leaders who've already achieved success. How can you apply this? Instead of just spending on things that depreciate, invest in relationships and access. Money spent on the right knowledge, people, and experiences will return 10x more than any luxury purchase. Let me ask you, if you had $10,000 to invest today, would you spend it on a material object or an experience that could change your life? Drop your answer in the comments below. Rule 10. As mentioned earlier, let me reveal why being boring with money is actually a secret weapon. Most people think getting rich means fast cars, flashy parties, and designer clothes. But here's a reality check. The wealthiest people are actually the most boring. Warren Buffett lives in the same house since 1958. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same gray t-shirt every day. Even the late Steve Jobs stuck to one outfit: black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers. Why? Because billionaires hate financial distractions. They don't waste mental energy on trivial spending decisions. Instead, they focus on building wealth, investing, and compounding their money. Now, let's get personal. Are you overcomplicating your financial life? Do you chase luxuries before securing financial freedom? How can you apply this? Simplify. Automate your finances, build a habit of investing, and stop chasing temporary status symbols. Be honest. Do you think you could go a month without unnecessary spending? Drop a comment below if you're up for the challenge. Let's jump into the next hidden rule. Billionaires understand taxes and play smartly. Ever wondered why billionaires pay less tax than you do? It's not because they're cheating. It's because they understand the tax game better than anyone. Let's break it down. Billionaires don't earn wages like employees. Instead, they make their money through stocks, businesses, and investments, things that get taxed way less than salaries. That's why Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg take $1 salaries. They don't need a paycheck when they can make billions through capital gains, deductions, and tax-free loans. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you studied tax laws? If your answer is never, then you're at a disadvantage. The rich obsess over tax loopholes while the middle class blindly overpays. How can you apply this? You don't need to be a billionaire to play smart. Start by learning basic tax strategies, maximizing deductions, and investing in tax-efficient assets like index funds and real estate. If I made a full video on tax hacks, would you watch it? Comment tax below if you want that next. Rule 12. The rich lay money traps that work like magic. Remember our earlier chat about this clever strategy? Have you ever noticed how billionaires make money even when they sleep? That's because they don't chase money. They set traps for it. Think about it. Amazon has Prime subscriptions bringing in billions every month. Netflix? Monthly recurring revenue from millions of subscribers. Even Jay-Z doesn't rely on album sales. He owns streaming platforms, liquor brands, and investments that pay him forever. Billionaires don't just make money once. They create systems that print cash on autopilot. Now ask yourself, do you have a system in place that makes you money without your constant effort? If not, you're playing the money game on hard mode. How can you apply this? Set up passive income traps, rentals, online businesses, dividend stocks, or even digital products that sell without your involvement. The goal is to get paid forever for work you do once. If you're loving these unconventional wealth-building strategies, drop a "more" in the comments so I know you're ready for the next part. Now let's dive into the billionaire rule. The wealthy avoid buying new, but secretly invest in luxury goods. If you think billionaires waste money on brand new cars, watches, or luxury toys, think again. The wealthiest people in the world rarely buy new things for personal use, but they do invest in the companies that sell them. Think about it. Warren Buffett doesn't own a fleet of Ferraris, but he invests in the companies that manufacture them. Bill Gates doesn't splurge on designer fashion, but he owns shares in luxury brands. Why? Because new purchases lose value instantly. A brand new car drops 10% the moment you drive it off the lot. But luxury brands, they increase in value over time. Now let's turn the question on you. Are you spending on things that lose value or investing in things that grow in value? How can you apply this? Before making any big purchase, ask yourself, would I rather own the product or own a stake in the company that sells it? The wealthy choose ownership over consumption. And speaking of smart money moves, Rule 15 will change the way you think about saving money forever. Up next, the rich play a different game. They don't take salaries like the rest of us. Most people work for a paycheck. Billionaires, they avoid salaries like the plague. Why? Because salaries are taxed at the highest rates. If you earn $100,000 as a W-2 employee, a massive chunk is gone to taxes. Meanwhile, billionaires structure their income through stock options, dividends, and capital gains, all taxed at much lower rates. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all of them take $1 salaries. Their real income comes from ownership, not paychecks. Now let's be real. Can the average person avoid a salary? Not completely. But you can start shifting your income into investment-driven earnings, like rental properties, dividends, or business ownership. How can you apply this? Start thinking like an investor. Focus on building income sources that grow passively, not just trading time for money. Would you rather make $100K from a salary or $100K from investments? Comment "invest" if you'd rather get rich the smart way. Rule 15, saving money can make you poorer. Wait, what? Isn't saving money the golden rule of personal finance? Not exactly. Saving is important, but here's the problem. Money sitting in a bank loses value over time. If you had saved $10,000 in 1990, it would be worth less than half its original value today due to inflation. Meanwhile, if you had invested that $10,000 in the S&P 500, you'd have over $100,000 today. So let's ask the real question. Are you saving for security, or are you investing for wealth? How can you apply this? Instead of hoarding cash, make sure your money is always working. Keep an emergency fund, yes, but beyond that, invest in assets that outpace inflation. If you had $10,000 right now, would you save it or invest it? Moving on to the next hidden rule. Give before you take. You might think billionaires donate money just to be generous, but here's the truth. Giving isn't just charity for the rich. It's a power move. Andrew Carnegie, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They all built massive philanthropic foundations. Why? Because philanthropy creates tax benefits, influence, and legacy. As Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, the more you give, the more you get. Now, let's flip the question to you. Have you ever considered that giving money could actually make you wealthier? How can you apply this? Start small. Give value, time, or knowledge, and opportunities will return to you in unexpected ways. Wealth is about circulation, not stagnation. Would you rather donate your time or your money? Drop a comment below if you believe in giving back. And speaking of long-term thinking, Rule 18 will show you how billionaires shield their money from the system. Let's uncover the next hidden rule. The rich never retire. They keep building their legacy forever. Most people dream of retirement. Billionaires, they never stop working. Think about it. Warren Buffett is 93 years old and still running Berkshire Hathaway. Richard Branson could have retired decades ago, but he's still launching businesses. Even after stepping down as CEO, Jeff Bezos is still investing, expanding, and influencing the world. Why? Because billionaires don't see work as something to escape. They see it as a game they never want to stop playing. Now let's flip the question. Are you working just to escape it one day, or are you building something that excites you for life? How can you apply this? Find work that gives you purpose, not just a paycheck. The goal isn't to retire. It's to create something so fulfilling you never want to stop. If money wasn't an issue, what would you spend your life doing? Rule 18. The rich shield themselves. Remember our earlier deep dive into this strategy? The wealthy don't leave their fortunes vulnerable. What do billionaires and the world's best magicians have in common? They both know how to make things disappear. But instead of rabbits, billionaires make their wealth invisible, legally. They use trusts, LLCs, and offshore accounts to protect assets from lawsuits, taxes, and financial predators. For example, did you know that Donald Trump doesn't own most of his assets? They're under LLCs and holding companies, making them nearly impossible to seize. Now, here's the question. If someone sued you tomorrow, could they take everything you own? If so, you need to rethink how your wealth is structured. How can you apply this? Even on a small scale, LLCs, legal trusts, and asset protection strategies can secure your financial future. Here's the next hidden billionaire rule. Focus on legacy, not just wealth. Most people chase money for themselves. Billionaires? They build wealth that outlives them. Look at the Rockefeller family. John D. Rockefeller built an empire over 100 years ago, and his family is still one of the wealthiest in the world. Why? Because he didn't just make money, he built a financial dynasty. Now, let's make this personal. If you disappeared today, what financial impact would you leave behind? Would your wealth last for generations, or would it disappear with you? How can you apply this? Start thinking long-term. Invest in assets that will grow beyond your lifetime. Build systems, not just savings. Have you ever thought about creating generational wealth? At the end of the day, the real difference between the rich and the poor isn't money, it's mindset. Billionaires see money differently. They expect wealth, they see opportunities everywhere, and they never let fear stop them. Meanwhile, most people are trapped by limiting beliefs. One, money is evil. Next, rich people got lucky. Finally, I'll never be wealthy. These thoughts create reality. If you believe money is scarce, it will be. If you believe opportunities are rare, you won't see them. How can you apply this? Start rewiring your financial mindset. See money as a tool, not a struggle. Shift from scarcity to abundance thinking. So now that we've covered all these 20 billionaire money rules, let's wrap up with how you can start applying them today. Step 1. Stop chasing short-term wins. Think in decades, not months. Step 2. Protect your assets with LLCs, trusts, and legal strategies. Step 3. Stop trading time for money, build income-generating assets. Step 4. Invest in your mindset, because without the right beliefs, money won't stay with you. Step 5. Create a financial legacy, not just for yourself, but for future generations. Which of these billionaire rules surprised you the most? If you found this video valuable, I highly recommend watching my next video, which is the perfect complement to this one. Don't hesitate to share this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, financial freedom isn't a dream, it's a strategy.